The Gemini Casino Cheetah deck does say Cheetah. At the bottom it is a fully wraparound design. On the back it does say Cheetah playing cards made in the USA, but is completely blank on both of the outsides. On top it is also going to be blank with a tuck seal right here. Beautiful custom tuck seal, and the bottom has Gemini ad copy. On the inside tuck flap, you're going to have it just a continuation of the tuck box, and the inside is going to be done completely in white. But that's all I can say for the tuck box, so let's take a look at the cards. Now when it comes to your bag design, it's going to be almost the exact same as the tuck box, and another great thing about this is a two-way design. Now a one-way design is where you can see a difference between one way and this way, just like the three of spades. So because of this center pip, when you flip it upside down, you can see the difference. But with the back design, it's going to be the same. So the best way to tell is when you do a riffle test and nothing has changed. You do have a medium to thick border on this deck with a black thin border around it. And truth be told, I do wish the borders were a little thinner. And when it comes to the number cards, all of these are going to be completely bicycle standard. Nothing new here. Your three aces are going to be bicycle standard, except for the pips are going to be enlarged in the center. This is actually my favorite way to see three aces done. But when it comes to the court cards, I do not understand their color choices. It is stay with your standard bicycle looks. You'd have a few things in here that have the Gemini Casino Cheetah print, but at the same time, I do not understand why they decided to go with a ton of red, basically the same amount of yellow, no blue, and a ton of black. So through this entire thing, you're going to have almost the exact same type. And honestly, this is one that I'm not a big fan of when it comes to the colorway of these court cards. There's too much red, the black is too thick. I do like the yellow, and I wish they wouldn't have got rid of the blue. For your ad cards, you do have a double backer and a blank card, which are both great for magic tricks. You get duplicate Cheetah Jokers. When it comes to the Cheetah Ace of Spades, I absolutely hate the fact that it is reshaped in this way, but I do appreciate the Cheetah down the center of it. You'll also want to know if this deck can Pharaoh shuffle, so from bottom to top you'll see that it Pharaohs perfectly, and not all decks can, so that is definitely a plus side to this deck. And then from top to bottom we'll check again and see that this deck can Pharaoh perfectly both ways, which definitely makes me happy. Now, all decks are going to feel different, so when you receive this deck, there's two ways that I can tell you how this deck is going to feel. The first way is how thick it is. Now, this is going to be on a crushed B stock, or a crushed premium, or a crushed casino stock. There's only two stocks when it comes to playing cards. The first one is going to be the classic stock, which is the same thing you get for bicycle decks, and the premium stock, or B or casino, or whichever version you're going to use, this is the thicker stock, but it was crushed, so after it was printed on the thicker paper, it then got pressed down, so it is going to be a little bit thicker than your bicycle deck. Now when it comes to actually how it feels in your hands, which is the second way, there's usually more buttery decks, which usually work better for moves like Under Pressure, and then there's more snappy decks, which usually work better for moves like Backdrop. So out of all of this, I'd probably say this is going to be definitely a more snappy deck. And the closest thing I can compare this to would be a more snappy version of the Squeezers V3 by Organic Playing Cards. But when it comes to how it feels out of the two, I'd take the Squeezers V3. If you're still debating picking this deck up, there's only one more thing left to say, and I think it depends on who you are. First is if you're a magician, truth be told, I don't really think this deck is going to be for you. The back design doesn't hurt you at all, and there's a few things that can help with, like the double backer and the blank card and the duplicate jokers. There isn't any reveals, and the court cards have no contrast because of the color selection. So out of all that, I probably wouldn't pick this deck up for magicians. Color changes would be awful with the court cards. Next is going to be cardists, and I definitely think you can do that. You'll see a lot of Gemini videos on their Instagram page, even with this deck here, and it looks great when you do cardistry with it. But I wouldn't say it's a cardistry intended deck. Next is for collectors, and obviously Gemini is going to sell out of just about everything they buy and everything they produce. So truth be told, I think this is definitely going to be a collector's deck. It looks great on my card shelf, where I have like over 250, 300 decks of cards, and honestly this is going to be on my top 100 decks when it comes to my card shelf. So it's not a really low, it's not a low print run, and it doesn't cost a ton either, so it's not going to be that type of collector's deck. But when you're talking about collecting like the whole Gemini series, or decks about cheetahs, or anything like that, or just you like yellow decks that look cool, this is going to be one that you can collect. Next is, should you play games with it? Technically you can, but all of my friends tend to mess up the playing cards and don't treat them the way that I like to, so I'm probably not going to be letting them play with this gorgeous deck of cards. And is this a hype deck? I'm going to say no to this one. But at the end of the day, I would recommend picking this deck up. Even after the flaws that it does have, it still has more pros than cons in my opinion, and I would definitely make sure to check out Gemini playing cards. And if you want to win this deck of playing cards right here, plus 2 stickers from Trap Street Playing Cards, all you've got to do is click on the link right there to head to that video, and if you want to check out the review to this one, you can head right there. And I'll catch you guys in the next one. This is Card Perfect. signing off. So please make sure to subscribe.